Hey everybody, this is Miguel Bevia. In today's video, I'm going to be painting this horse and I'll show you every step of the way. I hope you enjoy this video. I begin by roughly drawing the horse's head with a small round filbert brush using raw umber. For my medium, I'm using walnut oil. To sketch on the horse, I use straight angles to draw the overall shape of the head. I then place the ears and draw in the features of the horse. After the initial drawing, I considered the direction of the light source and began to establish all the shadow shapes of the horse's head with a mixture of raw umber, transparent red oxide, and a little viridian to slightly neutralize the color. I usually build up my shadows in a few layers, so I apply the first layer translucently and warm. After I have masked in the general shadow shapes, I began to block in the background using a cool desaturated gray. For this I mixed raw umber with a little bit of ultramarine blue, viridian, and white. I go back into my shadows and make them a bit darker with the same shadow mixture. I then mask in the average light tone of the horse's head. For this I used a simple mixture of orange ochre and white. In this stage I try to ignore all the subtle color shifts, highlights, and transitions. I just want to get a general flat tone for the average light area. I scrub in the paint quite thinly and loosely. For the muzzle of the horse, I mixed a cool gray using raw umber, viridian, and a little bit of the transparent red oxide to add a little warmth to the mixture. Now I go back and refine and deepen the shadow shapes of the horse's head using the same shadow mixture of raw umber, transparent red oxide, and viridian. Now that I have the big flat shapes of light and shadow masked in, I start to paint the transition values or halftones. This change in value happens as the form turns away from the light source. In this step of the painting, I begin to model the forms and start making the horse appear more three-dimensional. I use the wet into wet technique to make soft edges and make the modeling look more realistic. After adding the halftones, I begin to use thicker paint and add the highlights. Now I use pure white to add the white stripe of the horse's head. And I also add some highlights to the muzzle of the horse. For the final stage, I refine some areas and add some finer details. I add some dark accents. For this, I add a little bit of the ultramarine blue to my shadow mixture to darken the color. And lastly, paint the horse's harness. And here's the final result. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe as it really helps my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.